Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 360 representing TKOG, and yo, you already know, bro. You guys already know, bro. If you've been watching the channel for a hot minute, bro. If you're one of the OG followers, bro. If you're one of the OGs, man, one of the goats who knows that I've been rocking with CRYSTRON for literally years, long before these cards came out. You guys already know how we getting down. 60 card Cherubini Turbo with Kyoto Waterfront, Gamma Seal, Saryujas. Like, bro, I was doing the absolute disgust, bro. It was just great. I was playing like 60 card 3-axis CRYSTRONs like way back in the day. This was like a toss format, like Thunder Dragon. Like, bro, like, yeah. So when this support came out, you best believe that it literally, I was like, bro, I was like a fat kid at a chocolate factory, bro. I was like a little baby in a toy store, bro. I was just like, dude, are these cards real? And I immediately started laughing. And today I'm going to show you guys the build that I have come to as a conclusion of all of the avenues that I've exploited. And the ratios are going to be a little bit different. You know, I'm the kind of guy, I think for myself, you know, I don't diss like net decking. Like, I'm not knocking it. I understand that there's a reason behind it, but I like to actually formulate my own kind of cohesive thoughts and draw my own conclusions predicated to my experiences and testing. I can't really just take a deck list and run with it. So my build is a little different, but you're gonna like it because it also is, in my opinion, a lot more functional than a lot of the conventional builds you see, and I have really good logic behind it. And it's all just based on my experiences. You guys might not get as unlucky as you. You guys might not get drolled or charmed or nibbed as often as I do. But yeah, let's get into it, you guys. It's CRYSTRON. So run them likes, bro. Don't forget to comment for the algorithm. Definitely subscribe. Click that button. Click the notification bell. It's free. It's easy. I know your thumb's hovering over it. Just press it, bro. It's easy. And let's get into it. So we're gonna start with the starters. I always have it separate. Engine, non-engine. And so here's the starters. We have 3 copies of Inclusion, which is pretty much, these are the main 1-card starters of the deck. 3 Inclusion, 3 Smiger, 1 Foolish, and 1 Prosperity. So you pretty much have 8 1-card starters. It's not too shabby. It's definitely, in my opinion, way better than what we used to have. We used to have no starters. This deck really just didn't have a game plan. It didn't have a direction. That was the problem with CRYSTRON, is like, it had cards that on pen and paper kind of seemed a little insane, but there was just no direction, and there was no inboard. It just was not that great, and you had to play like not CRYSTRON to make CRYSTRON good. So yeah, these are the 8 1-card starters. In addition to that, in my opinion, what still is the best normal summon, and I have to play 3. I just feel like my chances of winning, my win rate goes higher. Like, my probability of playing through hand traps and playing into boards, going first and going second, is just so much easier when I open Tristalos. In my opinion, I think like the craziest hand that I've ever seen in this deck was like Fenrir, Droplets, Tristalos, Inclusion, and like, I think friggin' not Imperm, I'm sorry. Actually, I think I drew Cluster, so it kind of was a brick, a little bit of a brick. But the fact, like, dude, even if I just had Tristalos and Fenrir, I feel like I was in there. But like, I had Tristalos, Fenrir, Droplet, Starter. Like, I had Inclusion. It was like literally actually just disgusting, bro. Like, that was a crazy. That's probably the craziest hand I've ever seen with this deck. Like, I ended up, bro, I cooked. Like, I ended up cooking, bro. Like, I freaking Droplet my Fenrir, grabbed the Unicorn, birthed back my Fenrir, went into a Dracosack Hail Mary, like, with the Tristalos up. Oh my gosh, bro. It was crazy. It was actually crazy. But yeah, Tristalos is just a constant threat and pressure that lets you beat hand traps and navigate through established boards. It's actually very strong, also playing into like mid-range fields, like Ryzio fields. This deck actually doesn't have that bad of a time playing against Ryzio, actually, especially when you're opening Tristalos. And you hand trap them enough to just pass on a 2-mat detonator, and you're just chilling, bro. So I think this card needs to be at 3. Another thing that people are not going to probably appreciate is the 3 Sulfefnir and the 3 Sulfador. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this. Most people play 2 and 2. Again, most people are going to play 2 Tristalos, 2 Sulfador, and 2 Sulfefnir. I like playing the higher quality engine cards because these are all extenders. this is a card that's going to allow me to play through interaction, and it pairs really well with the cash cards because it lets me like unbrick my hand as well. If I just like, I play an extra deck card specifically for those instances where I brick on hand traps and I have like Tristalos and Finny. I can go Finny into a like a unicorn, and like with the Tristalos up, so if they draw me I can play, and then just make a 9 and then pop it and summon 2 and just keep playing. But these cards are literally extenders through hand traps, so these make like your good hands great, and these make your bad hands like a lot more playable. The only problem I have with Solfador is that like out of all of the cards that I can open, it's probably the worst card to draw by itself. But it just never works that way. It's always in conjunction, and it always functions as an extender. I used to feel like I wanted to play 2 because I was scared of drawing this card by itself. I can tell you guys right now, I've never had to experience that problem. This card has always been crazy. Like every opening hand I saw this card, it was like my hands were just infinitely better. It's what made me start playing 3 of this. The same with Self-Fefnir. This deck needs to be able to extend past low impact. KRYSTRON's just not the kind of deck that should be losing to low impact at all. This deck actually has really clean lines under both the Molcharmies and also Joel and Lockbird. So this deck I feel like is actually just literally like tier 1.5. It's very competitive, and it's doing very well on the YCS and regional scenes. And then for the rest of the names, I play 1 Thisfern. I play 1 Turtle. Shoutouts to my homie. I used to play Rosenix. Like, there's another cool build that you can play with the 3 access cards. You can play like Terratops, and you can play Gen X Undyne with Rosenix and Controller, because that's still a 1-card Cherubini. You can go normal Undyne, dump Rosenix for cost, and then you can go at the Controller, and then you can go Rosenix, make token, Link Spider into the token, and then use the Link Spider to summon the Controller from hand, and you make Cherubini, and you can put up SP so your whole combo is insulated. It's a really cool, like, it's honestly such a cool, like, variant. And you play Terratop as well. I don't think that that variant is as good as this one, but it's definitely very fun. And Undyne does dump for cost, so it's actually really strong in the hand traps. And the 1 Citri, you need to play this for a Tristalos target, and then the cluster. So that's all for the variants. Yeah, you guys definitely leave a comment if you want to see the Undyne 3-axis build. I think that one's more consistent and a lot more fun, but this one just has the competitive edge that you need. That's pretty much all for the engine. The rest is going to be non-engine. It's going to be 3 Finnies. Cash cards are just, oh my goodness. Yes, bro. This format, they are crazy. I'm playing the one of Unicorn as well. It helps for the crackback, but also I play Droplets in this deck. And I'm not going to lie, this is like the best 2-card combination for board breaking going into any established board. You can just Droplet the White Binder off the GW, be patient. You can Droplet the Detonator. Oh my, like, bro, like, if you open Finra Droplet, like, it's just cookage. Like, you go Finny, add the Unicorn. If they, like, try and chain, like, Imperm or something like that, you Droplet the Finny away, add the Unicorn. You just broke their board now. Summon the Unicorn, grab birth back the Finra, overlay in the Draco Sack, make the Cherubini, get into KRYSTRON combo. Like, it's just, the cash cards are just so good. You can also just have my little homie right here. Shout out to my little homie that, like, everybody needs to play at 3. You guys are actually sleeping on this card. And you can have, like, instances where this card can get you to engine. You summon Finny and you normal this. You play with your starter. Your opponent hand traps you. They ask you. They do whatever. You go Finny to try and force an interaction. Then you sink into a 9. I've been thinking about playing Vermilion Dragon Mech. But what's been coming up a lot more is actually the Navy Dragon Mech. Even though Navy is not as good to add back the Triss, it feels like its effect on field is more relevant to just negate a face-up card, whereas Vermilion just, like, you know, can pop a card, which is okay. It's not that, it's not like that bad, but I like being able to actually just, like, on command negate a card. It's player preference, honestly, but you can actually just banish him by you can use the Finny and him to make a 9, banish him, and then just summon 2, and, like, you can get a baby combo going there. So that's another reason why I really like the cash cards, and I think they're very strong in this deck. They just complement it, and they let you bridge into engine in a myriad of different ways, while also functioning as bodies, pressure, a game plan under Molcharmies, and roll. You can always sit on cash cards in like a cluster with a couple of hand traps and like 1 synchro. Or you can just literally pass on Tristalos, cash cards, and hand traps, and you'll still win. For the remainder of the non-engine, we're also playing 3 Fua, 3 Droll. These are the best hand traps of the format, if you ask me. Shout outs to Russell. We love clapping people with comments. 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Impermanence. So instead of more hand traps, I actually really opted for the droplets and then the talents cross out call by. Droll has to be in my list so that cross out actually does not just lose to variance, even though it's a one of. So these 6 could easily be 6 more hand traps. The 5 cash cards can be easily be. I can play 11 more hand traps and just play 23 hand traps. But I like in CRYSTRON playing the mixture of like really good hand traps and board breakers, especially cards that have synergy. Droplet and the cash cards have synergy to make my unplayable hands like a lot more playable, to unbrick me, and enable to like facilitate that multifaceted playstyle I like, being able to like break a board, checking that box while simultaneously setting up engine, checking another box. So being able to do multiple things with your cards is just why I value like the droplets and the cash cards over more hand traps. And these cards are literally just insane this format, bro. Insane! And then for the extra deck, I'm playing one Legatia. This card comes up absolutely all the time. Sometimes I wish I played more hand traps because I feel like every time I draw off this card is just not a hand trap. And then we play Navy. Navy is actually the 9 that we're playing for the like the cash interactions with Tristalos. It actually matters. Like if you guys didn't know, Tristalos actually just banishes itself from grave, popping any synchro you control to summon from deck. So if you, worst case scenario, need to do that with like a cash card and a Tristalos, you'll still be in there, bro. You'll still get you there. It plays harder in a nib, but it's better to like have a chance to play than just like outright lose to bricking. So I'd rather like play into nib than just not draw engine at all. Then we have Carry On Quandrex. Shout outs to the rich homie. This card actually lets you snatch steal your opponent's monsters. If you didn't know, I have one of the funniest stories I've had with this card. Like to this day, it's my favorite like interaction. I carry on Quandrex, a Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and then pop my Quandrex and summon it back. This was back in the day, bro. This was in Miscellaneous Source, was at 3. I've been playing CRYSTRONs for a long time. But yeah, I love this card. It actually summons from anyone's Banished Zone. Don't forget that. 2 Eliscaletes. This card is part of the reason why you're able to play under Droll so efficiently. You can just dump what you need and then add it off of this, while also simultaneously setting up a pretty decent board. Like this card with a cluster and a couple like back rows and some cash cards, you're just still in there, bro. That's what I like about CRYSTRON. You can just never count this deck out. Like you just feel like you're always in there. 1 Draxter. Samurai. This comes up a lot with playing through Nib. This actually is just like a staple. It has some really good relevant effects, but it comes up a lot playing through Nib, like a whole lot. Like this is like your main go-to. Like if you get Nib, you change Tristalos and then sink into this, and then the Nib resolves, and you can just keep playing. We have Chen Barbara, so that you can OTK more efficiently. We have Clockwork, Cherubini. These are both staples. SP, because it's so easy to go into SP after you're like do your Cherubini and just push a little bit. This is my Dracossack proxy. I don't have Dracossack. I don't know where it is. I need Dracosacks because I want to play at least one of my Dragon Rulers when I get those. And then Nova Infinity mainstays, and then Typhon. You just need it. If you can just, I feel like, hand trap the Raizio deck correctly and force them to pass on a Detonator, this is where Typhon will always come up because they're forced to have follow-up in their hand already and have to deal with your other hand traps. So, yeah. Now, I'm going to check the timer really fast, and let me see where we're at. Okay, cool. So, I have enough time to show you guys a very simple one-card combo that will basically lay the groundwork for you guys to learn the ins and outs of the deck and kind of like what you're trying to accomplish. This Typhon, I share this with all my decks. This SP, I'm sharing this with my decks. These are actually in my Malice, so I'm going to put these back just so that like my extra deck feels like better in my hand because it's a little clunky. But I'm just going to show you guys pretty much just this is like an intermediate / beginner combo. This is something that like bare bones, you should know this basic combo if you're going to play this deck. It's Inclusion. So what you're going to do is you're going to activate Inclusion, add Sulfador, activate Sulfador in hand, pop the Inclusion. Sulfador on summon is going to dump a copy of Thisfern and a copy of Sulfefenir. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to activate your Thisfern and add a copy of Schmeiger. Then you're going to activate the Sulfefenir by discarding the Schmeiger, summon itself, and use its effect to pop its own self. and then you're going to bust out Rich Homie Tristalos from your deck. You're going to go ahead and use that Smiger. You can use it early. Grab yourself a copy of Cluster because you know that you're going to end on this. And then you can go ahead and Synchro Summon into Eliscaletes. And Eliscaletes is going to go ahead and allow you to grab yourself some follow-up. I personally actually always go for the Smiger and just add that back from my banish zone. You already have follow-up with Sulfador in Self-Effener and Grave, but what you need is a discard so Self-Effener can come out and eat that impermanence, and then you'll use Sulfador to pop the Self-Effener and then summon it out, and then you'll either eat an Ash or Self-Effener resolves. So, like, that's the thing with CRYSTRON that, like, people don't give it enough credit for, is that its crackback will play through infinite hand traps. So, like, with follow-up, all you really need is just a discard for Self-Effener, and, like, you're playing through infinite hand traps. Like, because this is the kind of deck where you need to hand trap it early. You can't just let the cards resolve. Like, you actually just, you're not in a position to be able to do that. So... yeah, you use the Sulfador plus the Tristaros to make Eliscaletes. Add back the Smiger for follow-up so that you can just go crazy. You can add back the Thisfern, but I'm going to put the Thisfern back because I like to be able to dump that when I have control over it. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go Tristaros to pop the Eliscaletes. And we're going to summon two. We're going to summon out a Self-Effener and a Sulfador from our deck. And we're going to trigger the Eliscaletes. I'm actually going to go ahead. Eliscaletes can summon a CRYSTRON from your graveyard or banishment. Even though it's not ideal to leave only one target for cluster, so you can't like pop on your opponent's turn and then pop on your turn. It doesn't matter because immediately on your turn you can just set this right back up by just banishing like the Smiger after you put it in the grave for Self-Effener. And you're going to do inclusion anyways. So you're going to go ahead and trigger Eliscaletes to summon the Tristaros back during your... after this resolves, and then you're going to go ahead and take these two and overlay into Nova and Infinity. And yes, you can go inclusion to summon back a 5 and then make Don Draxter and in on Cluster. But what I would personally do is I would summon back the 5 and I would not make Don Draxter. I think that this inboard's actually better. You'll have the Cluster plus follow-up. That's what's cool about the combos, is just like crackback, right? I would leave the Tristaros and the Sulfador up because it's better than Don Draxter to actually just go straight into the Carry-On Quandrax to do the board wipe. So you have like an Omni Negate, you have a board wipe, you have Cluster. You want more board control in this format. I don't think that Don Draxter is actually strong enough as a card like to put a dent in like Malice or even Rizio or Mermail. Like, I think the board wipe off of Carry-On Quandrax is actually a lot more valuable. So I think leaving Rich Homie and leaving Sulfador up to just like Tristalos whenever you want. That way you have control, because you could still summon Don Draxter if need be, if you feel like it's necessary. But I think it's just better to end on the board this way than to go into the Don Draxter without giving yourself the choice of like options. So this is the end board that I go for every time. And when I say it's good enough, it's literally just good enough. Especially with your follow-up being able to just kill so frequently. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, man, this deck is pretty nice. It's a very, very good deck. It's very resilient. It has a great grind game. The follow-up is just actually atrocious. It can lose to Shifter and Lancia. Shifter's at 1, and Lancia is not as much of a problem for this deck as you would actually think, especially with like the non-engine and the cash cards. And yeah. I like this deck a lot. I thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think down below. If you have any requests, definitely leave those in the comment box. Deuces!